DreamHack Astro Open is brought to you by ASTRO, Monster Energy, Corsair, Zowie, and Intel.
$100,000. That's right. That's all it's on the line here in Denver, Colorado, the Mile High City, where certainly things are up in the air around here as to who will be grabbing this big check at the end of this tournament. We got 8 teams battling it out over the course of the entirety of this weekend here at the DreamHack Astro Open Denver. My name is Stunna here on the analyst desk. I'm hosting this bad boy. I can't say I know what I'm doing, but we're making it look pretty. Not like these guys, though. These guys know what they're doing. We've got Dust Moret. We've got James Hazed Cobb. Guys, we just saw 16-14 there over Tempo Storm. Cloud9 taking it. We're going into LDLC and Mousesports.
Yep, opening that we expected, and I think this match will probably be the same.
I think LDLC might put up a little bit better of a fight than Tempo Storm Brazil did against Cloud9, but yeah, certainly there's another very heavy favorite in this game, just like the previous one, based on what we've been seeing recently.
I mean, even looking at this one, right? So you even just take Mousesports. Let's just start there. They've got this guy named Oscar. Now, Oscar, nuts. What do we know about Oscar?
He is insane. He's definitely the best opera at this tournament. There's not even a question about it. Like, there's no point even discussing. He's just the best at this tournament. He puts up ludicrous numbers. I think he was like plus 96 at that tournament in Mykonos. Like, he almost had plus 100 kills in a tournament. And he was playing against quality teams. He was playing against guys like Liquid and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, he's absolutely a monster.
Yeah, and I think 30 of those were in the last map of the finals, or something crazy. He had his KD ratio and on Nuke was just absurd. But yeah, his form and the whole team's form since Mykonos has been pretty good. They had a good showing at ROG Masters where they beat Gambit in a best of 3. And admittedly, Gambit not maybe the best team in the world right now, but I mean,
still pretty solid with Fitch, I think. They did have that one slip up at E-League Premier, though, right? Losing to Immortals with the stand-in to get knocked out of that really early. I think that was definitely a little bit of a blemish on the record, so to speak. But like you said, great at Mykonos, took care of business at ROG. Definitely one of the favorites here.
Well, a team that certainly have something to show for themselves as well. I mean, we could even go down the path of talking about ROPS. There's a ton of potential with this lineup, and I believe a heavy favorite to find themselves in the final.
There's a lot of firepower on this team. I mean, we already talked about Oscar in the AWP. He's very strong, but Sunny, you know, coming in from Finland, you know, former player for Ints, played for Penta, a very good aggressive rifler for this team to help open up things up. Alongside Oscar's AWP, then you have ROPS on the opposite end of the spectrum, right? More of a passive guy, more of a lurk type role, but very intelligent, and I feel like he's only gotten better with time. You know, as he's been on this lineup, he's just gotten stronger and stronger.
Yeah, and I was personally on the receiving end of a Sunny and HS combination at the at the last major qualifier. So those guys are super talented, and Sunny has really, I think, stepped into this and not even really had to feel it out and like work his way into the lineup. I felt like he was just banging from the start.
Well, I'm sure there's most definitely worse receiving ends you could be on, but if we look at the receiving end that's about to be had here, I think it's easy to say Mousesports could just be the firepower that just throttles.
Yeah, not much to expect from LDLC. They really haven't had any performances on LAN as of late. They've had some okay online performances. They were honestly pretty bad up until about this last week where they actually played Mousesports and 2-0'd them. So.
Yeah, I mean, also you had Mousesports knock them out of the Oakland qualifiers, though, too, so it's kind of hit or miss, like, online head-to-head between these two teams, but like you said, LDLC, they've really struggled. They look really poor at Copenhagen games in the last minor. They've been getting knocked out in qualifiers by teams they probably shouldn't be losing. They lost to Spirit Academy trying to qualify for DreamHack Montreal. It probably shouldn't be happening with this team, but we do know that they have some good tactics, right? At least we can point that out.
Well, I mean, is Existence's calling style like actually good now in the current meta?
I think with the talent that he has, he almost has to make sure that he has like these fine-tune executes. Obviously, if he had a little bit more firepower, you might want to loosen it up a little bit and try to let those guys flourish, but there's not really any heavy hitters on this LDLC team, so I think they have to be relying on a lot of structure.
Well, I mean, relying on structure is one thing, but just looking at this lineup right here, right? So, I mean, you see Existence, you see Maniac, you see players that should be bringing that veterancy, bringing that leadership quality to this team, and for all intents and purposes, why aren't they performing right now?
I'm not really. I mean, I don't think they have heavy hitters, to be honest. I mean, I think that Maniac's gotten a little bit better on this team compared to when you saw him in the past on teams like Titan. I feel like he has gotten a bit better. I think Alex has big shoes to fill as an entry fragger for them with XMS departing into Envious. So, like, you're really relying on Alex to do work with the rifle. And then it's Toy New with the AWP, right? The guy is super hit or miss, though, man. Like, I'll see games where he drops bombs, and then I'll see games where you're really asking for more out of him. You're not really seeing what you need. And I think this team is going to live and breathe by whether or not Toy New can actually perform. But he's going up against Oscar in this game. That's not a fun matchup to be in. So it's going to be up to him and Alex, I think, and the tactics. Can they, similar to what we talked about Tempo Storm Brazil and Cloud9, right? Like, if you don't have as much firepower, hopefully you can try to out-mind game your opponent or something, or have something brilliant that they're not expecting to fight against.
Yeah, and I think Devil is another hit-or-miss player. When he first transitioned over to this team, he actually came out just on fire at the get-go, but since then he's basically died off and gone back to his old form. Not really too much of an impact player. But I think that same sentiment can be said for the entire team. There's not really any impact in this team. And as we talked about earlier, I think tactics will be that's going to be their bread and butter. And unfortunately, it's just not. I don't think it's going to matter because a lot like what happened in the first match, Cloud9 rolling over Tempo Storm, the same thing's going to happen here, in my opinion. It's just they're not even going to get a chance to run those tactics in most cases. They're just going to get run over.
If you're not getting up T-ramp on Inferno, I would say you've got your work cut out for you. But we might not be landing on Inferno. I'm going to say there's a chance we don't. Let's take a look at the vetoes now. They're coming in hot, and our first two bans will be.
Yeah, I'm thinking LDLC definitely needs to get rid of Train because that's their permaban now. They also need to get rid of Mirage. They are awful on Mirage. It used to be their permaban, but they've shifted to Train. So those two maps, no chance LDLC is letting them through. I would think Mousesports may want to steer this away from a map like Nuke where you might give LDLC a chance. Probably would also try to steer clear of Overpass, which they did see that ban come out. So I expect this to potentially go to Cobblestone or Inferno, to be honest.
I'm leaning towards Nuke or Cobble. I think Inferno is in there. I think it's a little bit of a long shot, but you know, Train's an expected ban from LDLC. Mirage was their first ban, obviously saving it for later just to see what Mousesports might ban, but I think it's pretty obvious they're going to ban Overpass, seeing as it's their least played map. And Inferno ban from Mousesports, you know, they haven't been stellar on it, so I kind of expected them to ban it. I'm leaning towards Nuke here.
Well, I mean, 2 days ago, I mean, it was when they faced off on Inferno, albeit online for EPL. But yeah, I mean, LDLC grabs just a seemingly quick W there, but not, you know, in terms of scoreline, but more so, hey, we're going to grab this one from you online. Then we're out. See you later.
But
going to Denver.
It is interesting that they do ban it because you could end up studying that map, Inferno, because you just played it, so you have fresh knowledge.
Yeah, plug the holes that where there were leaks in your strategy, and make something of it. But that is not going to be the case. We're going to Nuke for the second map here at Denver, and you know, does this lean one way or the other?
I mean, I think Mousesports has shown they can play this map on Nuke. I was thinking they might get rid of it just because that has actually been maybe one of LDLC's better maps online, so maybe you just want to get rid of the strength of your opponent. But to be fair, Mousesports have played Nuke pretty well offline thus far. Their only loss is to Gambit, which is a quality team. They've beaten some good teams on it, like Liquid, like Heroic. So I think that they're still the favorite to win this.
Well, I think if there's an upset map, this would be the best one, because Nuke is not a map a lot of teams like to play. So if you're a Nuke specialist, like it seems like LDLC tend to lean towards Nuke a lot, they obviously are comfortable on the map, and a lot of teams just aren't.
I think that's what we need more in the world right now, are Nuke specialists. There's a lot going on here with these nukes, so to say, and I'm not talking about the map by any means. Either way, make sure you're using !Mouse or !LDLC in the chat. That's right, Twitch chat. You can get involved at home and vote for your team that you're going to think is going to grab this win here. However, boys, Nuke, I mean, we don't see it entirely too lot from some teams, and then some teams seem to cater to it. Where does this map stand in terms of the current competitive play?
I think the meta's kind of stale on it, to be honest. Every now and then you see something kind of cool come out. Like, I know that there was this one really cool upper execute that Nip was running with like different Molotovs and stuff that were a little bit unique. And I think LDLC, a team that's driven by being execute-based, maybe Existence has some cool stuff up his sleeve for these different types of executes. But, I mean, it's really, you know, based off of outside control a lot of the time, right? Like smoke wall outside, it's almost like taking mid control on Mirage in that sense. Like, that's like your foundation piece. And then it's like, either I'm going to go down secret and I'm going to play a lower play, or I'm going to maybe try to split and, you know, mini and different things like that. So I think it's kind of stale in that regard. And it's also hard to observe, right? Like with the verticality.
Definitely have heard it's hard to observe. I've heard the sounds are a little bit off. But you know what? I kind of have to put you guys on the spot and say who's going to walk away with Nuke.
You know, I almost want to say LDLC because this is a good upset map for them. So I'm going to go LDLC 16-14.
I'll take Mousesports. I think they're still pretty good on this map. I think you're right, though. This is like the window being cracked open a bit for LDLC, but I think Mousesports is just a better team, so I'll take them to win it.
Well, and you know, all my just esteemed wisdom in the prediction game here, gonna have to go with Mousesports. I don't think anybody can sleep on my man Oscar over there. He's a heavy hitter. That is the definition of a heavy hitter.
Shaking it up, baby.
Shaking it up, shake and bake. Well, we're gonna go to a quick break. The players aren't quite ready yet, but they will be very shortly. So when we come back, we're gonna be jumping into LDLC and Mousesports right here at the DreamHack Astro Open Denver.
To feel so far away, didn't think I had a part to play. I used to let things bring me down. I would walk with my eyes to the ground, but I knew I could find a way to push through. Every word they'd say, I grew strong. I knew right from wrong, and now I feel it too. I'm alive, yeah, I'm alive. I'm alive, yeah, I'm alive. I love every moment with you, and I want you to know I do. I'm alive, yeah, I'm alive. Now I wake up to a brand new day. I never wanna wish the time away. I don't wanna waste a second, it's true. I've got that rhythm, don't you feel it too? I'm alive.
Why should we deny it? Pretend like we don't like it. All I wanna say is, give me just a little bit more. Can you come a little closer and give a little bit? Just give a little bit more. Don't be scared to just come over. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit closer, closer. Give me just a little bit more. Can you come a little closer?
Give me all that, bring your body over here. You're a cool cat, party like you got no fear. In the middle of the night, you still be shining bright. Energy you bring it makes me craving for your loving side.
Now I think I'm going crazy for you, knowing that you're wanting me too. Why should we deny it? Pretend like we don't like it. All I wanna say is, give me just a little bit more. Can you come a little closer and give a little bit? Just give a little bit more. Don't be scared to just come over. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit closer, closer. Give me just a little bit more. Can you come a little closer?
Girl, now listen, you're shining like a star in the sky. And honestly speaking, you're all that I'm seeking. I would never tell you a lie. I will show you the world if you give me a chance. Allow me to bring you romance, cause I knew from the start you got it all. I wanna be able to catch if you fall.
Yeah, I am also feeling the way you do. Oh, I wanna be closer to you. Oh,
Bring it on now.
give me just a little bit more. Can you come a little closer and give a little bit? Just give a little bit more. Don't be scared to just come over. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit closer, closer. Give me just a little bit more. Can you come a little closer?
Hello and welcome back to DreamHack Astro Open Denver. My name is Risk. Alongside me is the legend, the Bears, of course.
How you doing?
Pretty good, man. I'm looking forward to this matchup. Of course, we just saw Tempo Storm being, well, taken out pretty much by Cloud9, and hopefully we're going to see something a bit closer here as we do have Mousesports taking on LDLC. It's on Nuke. You heard the analysts talk about it, and I think we're almost like a few minutes before we can jump into the game. The players are ready. They had some issues, and now it's been sorted out, and we are ready to go, of course, live here in the Western National Complex. What's that the name? It's something in the lines of that. It's a very interesting arena, to say the least. Usually they do all kinds of like horse and alpaca shows here, so this is a weird experience for me coming in as a European to an arena like this.
We're just inviting all aspects in the esports, okay? You know, if you like to rodeo, ride some horses or some bulls, you know what? That's okay.
DreamHack got you.
We got you. We sit in armchairs, but you know what? It's kind of the same thing. It's made from leather. Who knows?
So as we are getting ready here to go into LDLC versus Mousesports, it's an interesting one. They talked about it on the desk, especially when we talk about the last best of 2 they played in EPL. They touched upon that. That was a win for LDLC, but one thing we have to remember is that Robs wasn't playing there. They had to play with their coach LMBT, so that's definitely not ideal. So one could say that result might not matter that much when you take everything into consideration. But another thing that I actually think is very important is when they played last in a real best of 3 online was for the IEM Ocon qualifier. In that best of 3, the map that LDLC actually won was Nuke, and that was a 16-5 victory. So this could potentially be interesting, and I have to agree with what Hayes said on the desk. This is probably the chance that LDLC are going to get in this. They're not going to be able to beat Mousesports in the best of 3. I think there's no chance in that. But in the best of 1 on Nuke, if they can start off strong, we talked about confidence and momentum in that first game, they might have a chance of doing something here.
Yeah, Nuke is one of those maps where if you get early momentum on the T side, you can really run away, because sometimes this map can be super heavy CT sided if your rotations are on point. And LDLC, what it seems to be like, this is their map. So it's surprising that Mousesports maybe are confident enough that they don't care, or maybe they got something up their sleeve that they want to show us. I'm really excited for Nuke because it's a map that I don't see that much anymore compared as when it first came out. I think a bunch of teams in the first couple months were hopping on it, trying to figure it out, wanting into in their map pool. But then after a little bit, teams started to have it in their ban phase. No one wants to play it. And so, you know, I'm always excited to see newer, or not new maps, but like, you know, just kind of something that's unusual. Like, I like watching Nuke matches, even though it could be a nightmare for observers and the team as well if you're not that coordinated. But at this high level, you should have some kind of coordination in play for this map.
Yeah, as they talked about on the desk as well, some teams just shape themselves into being Nuke specialists. We have the same thing with Inferno right now. We don't really have a team that's the best in the world on Inferno. I think the same is not safe to be said for Nuke, because a team like ASTRO is very good on it. But when you get into like below the top 3, then I think it's very open if you can be like the best team in that kind of section for Nuke. And I think LDLC, despite them being like a bit down on the rankings, I think they are like a good opportunity, or they are a team that could be this kind of like Nuke specialist team that could take out stronger opposition in a best of 1. And this is, well, the perfect scenario for them, because taking out what in my eyes are the big favorites to win the tournament in the first like best of 1 of this would be insane for them.
Yeah, it'd be really good for LDLC to start off with the tournament with a win. And I mean, if you're the underdog, I mean, obviously you want to win, but the first match of the day, a win, I mean, it's so nice. It helps the team so much, especially with your confidence. And I'm just curious to see what kind of strats LDLC is going to have at the table, because we talk about Existence being this player who's been in the game for many years. Yeah. So I mean, he has an old school kind of mentality, team play, and Nuke is one of those maps where it can be a timing based map. And what I mean by timing based is a lot of it is with poking. I'm poking here, my teammates have to make a move on the other side of the map. A lot of communication and coordination. It really makes you good on this map.
I agree. And one thing to note as well is back in the early days of CSGO and the early versions of Nuke, Very Games back then, as they were called, were one of the best teams on this. The NIP had some great battles on that. Hopefully we can try and emulate some of this as we go into the server. Here we go, Mousesports versus LDLC. Opening match in the European group, you could say, here at DreamHack Denver. 3 European teams, and then NRG with 2 European imports. Mousesports and LDLC to open things up. Quick play into the vents already. Robs is there. And this is the all armor, no utility play coming in from the T side. This is the split towards B, and it's working out. Rob's picking up the first one. Christian Stico on the ramp. Tuano answering a bit back here with the USPS onto Sunny, but so far 4v2. Make that 4v1. As Devil is the last man standing, and quick pistol round, but that's the bomb gone down. Doesn't matter. Stico's there. Yeah, and that's
impressive.
A quick push towards the vent, quick push towards the ramp, just taking those initial duels.
Yeah, Mousesports pretty much out-aim LDLC all the way right there. Even though Robs did get down the vents right away, it's not entirely a bad thing, because on this map, obviously you're not coming through vents, you either have to go outside or to ramp to hit down lower. So LDLC had the right idea of maybe heading towards ramp to try to hit some kills, but again, they just got outshot completely by Mousesports, and so it just ruined their plan.
Yeah, that's the problem when you play against a team like Mousesports. We discussed this, of course, off stream here. Like, they have the 2 great players in Oscar and Robs, and then they have this kind of like 3rd star in Sunny, who's a very strong aim player as well. And if you don't have anything that can match up with that directly, it's going to be very hard to win these kind of rounds where it's not going to be, you're not going to have that much utility to deal with. And when Oscar is just allowed to like roam on the loose with a scout in hand and he's just taking everyone out, it's very hard to be in LDLC shoes. It's very hard to come up with an argument of what they should do. Right now, just completely destroyed, as you would expect, as it's just pistols against a semi-by coming out from Mousesports. But nonetheless, you would always hope that at least you get a couple of kills in.
Yeah, I think LDLC, I would have preferred a non-long-range kind of battle, because they had a couple people stacked outside. But Mousesports played that smart, where they knew that if LDLC was buying, they're going to buy pistol armor and not much utility. So let's take the long-range game. Let's go outside. Let's use our AKs or scouts just to outshoot them. And LDLC, if you have pistols, you have Deagles and CZ, you want to take that battle up close and personal, around corners, not this long-range battle.
Alex being caught off there, holding a different angle, actually focused on towards Oscar's position, but as Oscar baits out, his teammate rolls around and takes the free kill. So this is, of course, a bit of a, let's say, a free round coming in from Mousesports, as we do see almost no investment coming in from LDLC. I think Existence was the only one with its P250. The rest of the team not really buying that much into it. We're not expecting much out of this one, but Tuano and Maniac in unison. Make it work. 2 frags for them, but AK still being carried on into the next round, and so will the UMP of Chris J. So 3 rounds on the board for Mousesports, as we do have the first buy round coming in from LDLC. And I actually talked about the rotations here from LDLC. I feel are going to be key, how they counteract whatever Mousesports throws at them, because I know that Existence has been studying this team for a while. I know that he has anti-stratted them, and he has watched a lot of demos. He knows what to do when they do something specific. So I'm just wondering, okay, how is this going to look when it comes all into play, when it comes down to the duels and everything?
And even though Alex takes out Chris J, smart move by Oscar. I like the idea of trying to take that hut pick fast, because they know that LDLC is probably low on Molotovs and utility, and almost had a free shot there if anyone was to peek him. But now Mousesports in a 4 and 5 situation. I mean, you look at LDLC again; they don't have any nades or Molotovs or anything like that. So it's really hurtful. It's going to be hurt if Mousesports decides to take an upper or lower and just have nothing to retake the bomb site with, other than smokes and flashes.
Yeah, and this is the problem when you have this kind of like execute based on utility coming in from Mousesports, because if they want to go inside, they're gonna have the utility to just mull off different position, smoke off upper, smoke off main. So they're gonna use all that advantage they have utility wise to take that site, and I think that's gonna be the name of the game. It all comes down to how LDLC are gonna like take those initial duels if they go for an inner push, or how they're gonna be able to rotate around the site if it's not gonna be an inner push, if it's gonna be more spread out. Maniac here on the run.
Here Mousesports being one person down, they're trying to find a pick here, and now they look like they're going to flash execute upper as they run through the hut. Rob's here trying to go through Squeaky, and Rob's getting 2 kills before being taken down, and Stico and Oscar getting kills each other, and Mousesports immediately turn that around, taking the round right there, and that was pretty impressive because they were down 4 and 5.
I feel it's so impressive every single time you can come in as an AWPer through HUD and then kind of take duels, because
rush out of HUD.
You shouldn't be able to do that, but Oscar just makes it work nonetheless. Always great when you have a player like Robs who can just double up easily going into a bomb site. Of course, will be shut down by Toronto from that upper angle with the AWP, but then after the double kill coming in from Robs, Oscar comes in and he gets 2 as well.
Yeah, Mouse had really nice timing where if you're looking at HUD, you get shot at Squeaky Door as well. So good route running and timing by Robs and Mousesports. You can see right here, possible other Mouse knows that there's going to be another eco, so they're going to do their outside things. Take it slow, try to find picks. Oscar's trying to AWP on top of, call the spot Twinkie in the Americas. I don't know what you guys call this spot.
We just call it Silo.
Silo?
We're not that specific. Or I am not that specific, because I think that the level you play at and the communication you get at is a bit more than my second division Danish FPL. So
it was a source term called Twinkie, because it was yellow.
Oh yeah, that's actually true.
Looked like a Twinkie.
Those were the days. Actually, we don't have Twinkies where I'm from, so it makes no sense for me.
That could be a good thing.
That is probably a good thing. Let's put it like that. As we do have the pistols coming in here now. 1 kill gone down as Sunny has been eliminated. Chris J is on 30 HP as well, so not a terrible start for LDLC here. Existence has that Desert Eagle in hand. They do have some of these close range C-75s, but I feel like now Mousesports are, after losing that initial battle, losing that initial man, they are going to take it slow and use that utility to their advantage, maybe flash out and just push this inner bomb site. See Chris J. He's on the first one. Devil in a great position, but does not get anything done. Stico takes him out. And Existence now trying to make magic with that Desert Eagle. Something he was famous for back in Source, but this time around he won't even have the chances. He's taken out by a HE grenade. Alex, last man standing, doubles up, but will it be enough? Nope. Stico with his 4K as Mousesports move from 4 to 5 rounds, 5-0.
So Mousesports is doing a really good job of checking all spots, using the utility, methodical CS to where They're not going to get cheesed by someone holding a tight angle or whatnot. It's just on the upper bomb site. And I liked how Mousesports, it was a 4-on-4 situation. They're kind of defaulting it out, and then they're like, okay, guys, let's come back together. Let's attack this at the same time. So if they had 4 people stacked up, or it's a 4-on-4 when they take the upper, you know, use the numbers at your advantage.
Pulse coming in here. Tactical one for Existence and the boys of LDLC. And with the system we have now, with all these shorter pulses coming in, I feel like it's very nice for LDLC to take this now, just to make sure before they get another buy round in. Of course, Toronto doesn't have, he only has that season. Actually, that's my bad. He, of course, has a drop. But they have this buy coming in now. And I feel it's very important, if you lost 5 rounds, to just take a pause, make sure everything is on point, because you have so many pauses. Might as well use one of them now. And Toronto, with that AWP, doesn't really do much outside, and Rob's on the other side of things. Takes down Alex. Existence has a choice to make now, if he wants to go back and hold a defensive angle, or if he wants to push it, and he has gone back, giving up outside control and secret control to the T's.
Yeah, LDLC did a pretty good job at slowing down Mousesports outside, but they aren't able to capitalize by doing it. They try to rotate a little earlier, but they still get taken out by the firepower of Mousesports. And now, as you see, Maniac's trying to kill this bomb planter here. He's going to have to make a move and get 1 or 2 kills if he wants the team to stay in the round, and he gets 2 kills, and the bomb planter. Bomb is planted at the moment. Now it's a 1-on-3. Up to Oscar to make a huge play.
Went for the fake defuse. And now Oscar has the second tab, and the question is, does he want to go for it? Not on it yet. Oscar, with the Desert Eagle in hand, can actually make this work. He gets away from that initial duel, knows where one of these 2 players are. How's he going to play this out? 4 bullets left, and no, it will be Existence to come in with his first frag of the game, and of course here the first round of the game coming in from LDLC.
Yeah, it was a very nice retake by LDLC. That was a key, as you see on the screen. These 2 kills helped win the round by Maniac to get the bomb planter and the person by, call that other spot Hodor. I call it Hodor.
That's actually a really nice name.
Yeah, just add random nades, you won't forget it. That's how I think about it. But LDC, that was a must-win round, and that Molotov outside that slowed down that stairs rush was really key to helping LDLC rotate into a better positioning, because this map's all about rotating, you know, from ramp to vents and whatnot.
Bomb has been spotted, but that could have been the bait as Robs comes in, takes that first duel, but eventually gets shot down by Alex in that repick position. It's a 4v4, and Alex taking a bit of damage. And, see how Mousesports are going to play this. Have some outside control as Sonny's moving in towards Secret. There's 2 players with him as well, and Chris J with a bomb. A bit behind. Existence trying to edge himself in closer. See what kind of information he can find. He doesn't find anything right now, so he knows they have control of Secret, but he doesn't really know if they're going back, if they're going for push downstairs, what kind of like stuff they're doing outside. And he will be the one to rotate back. As Mouse just slowly but surely not pushing. Secret just using that map control to check off every single angle and move in towards a potential execute.
Mousesports, they don't have much time on the clock, and so I think LDLC knows that they're going to do an upper execute or an upper take with limited time, and Alexo on the bottom watching the stairs. As you can see, Mousesports are gearing up to flash and take out this upper bomb site.
Flank coming in for Maniac straight in the back. They have no idea he's there, but eventually Chris J will shut him out. Oscar goes for the peak with the op. 2v2. 10 seconds to go. And there we go. That's a 10 seconds. That's a bomb gone down. So will be a retake. 2 kits though. It's not impossible for LDLC to make this work.
No, but the bomb's on. Oscar has a pretty good hold on this ladder. It's going to be up to Devil. Is he be able to pick off Oscar? He needs his kill and waits for the flash. Gets the kill on Oscar. Now it's a 2-on-1. Devil getting taken out by Chris J. And now it's a 1-on-1. Existence. What he's going to do, but Chris J takes him out. Great turnaround by Mousesports. I thought LDLC was going to win the round for sure, and then somehow they got down the vents and planted the bomb.
Yeah, it was also the flashbang coming in there from the CT, coming in from Secret, knowing that his teammate is going to come into vents that probably have one in vents, maybe even the orb. He gets that shot, but then Chris J immediately with the revenge frag there, rotating in, making a snap decision. Okay, he's mauling, he's probably on that bomb. I'm going to go straight for the peak. Where Existence is probably thinking, okay, he's going to play this smart, maybe tap out, see if I'm there. But Christie just goes balls to the wall and just pushes it.
Yeah, I think LDLC could have played that 2-on-1 a little bit better. After Pebble got the kill, his teammate should have helped him out and clearing either the backside or vents, but he left him, and it put Devil in a weird spot and got taken out. So instead of a 2-on-1, it was a 1-on-1, 1-on-1.
Yeah. And that's a big problem here coming in from LDLC. They have to be better at recognizing these kind of plays as they happen. And I think that's one of the things that Existence sometimes can get caught in, because he believes so much in his own system that I feel like sometimes he has a hard problem making the right mid-round call in some situations, because he has this kind of idea of how the round should be played. And if a problem arises, he has a hard time like putting himself into a situation how to counter it.
Yeah. See, Miles is gearing up to take out this HUD area with some flashes and smokes. The guy by Vent Devil actually takes out Sunny, and Existence taking out Chris J. LDLC gets 4 kills in its upper bomb site. Now it's up to ASTRO, 1-on-3 situation, hiding behind that vent and smoke. And LDLC taking a 4-spy right there. That was a huge round to win.
Yeah, and the power of pistols in CSGO once again shows its face, because if you're in that close range position with the CZ 75, with the 5.7 or something like that, not even close range, this is actually a medium range coming in from Existence, and they just they're not looking at his position at all. So he basically has 2 free kills if he can hit the shots, and of course he can. His Existence is not really that much of a problem. So they're going to get this round in, and they're going to get back into the game, I feel like, because this also forces Mousesports into a 4-spy. So they're in a tough situation now with only 2 AKs. Alex going for that vent. It's a bit of confusion, and Oscar will go down. Meanwhile, they are pushing Secret.
You see as Alexo has the other side on the stairs, so he can call out if they're coming. He did smoke it off to get it, and now he gets blinded out. You're going to call that they're down and lower. Sunny takes out Alexo, and Rope's taking out Maniac. And now again, in a similar situation where Mousesports might win off this 4-spy.
Pistols coming in strong once again. I feel like the CTs could have definitely done a better job there. Robs should not be allowed to do anything like that, but still, round is still alive. Rob's coming in here towards the vent, knows that there's someone close by, gets smoked off. This is a very hard situation. Bomb is planted though. Robs gets another one. That's Existence gone down. Chris J still alive with 100 HP. And let's see how they're going to play this one. Robs goes down. It's all on Chris J. Once again, 1v2. That's the bomb to play with as well. Here's the defuse. First one goes down. Second one, and Chris J doubles up, takes down Tuano and Devil, and he just makes that work.
That is a round you should not be able to lose.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it. And again, I think for LDLC, Alexo was downstairs. He was one of the only people at the start, and him dying so early really hurt the rotation of LDLC. I think in that situation, you know they probably downstairs play a lot farther back, play safer so you can at least hold a spot for your teammates to rotate in. You dying off the bat, kind of eliminates that spot, so now it adds more spots that your team has to check. So LDLC has to recognize when to play passive, when to play aggressive. That round did not pay off for playing aggressive.
It's interesting. Pie here coming in from both teams. The economies of both teams a bit damaged, so we do see 2 M4s on the CT side, some CZs, and on the T side we have the AWP on Oscar, very handy. Of course, as we know, he can make the whole difference with that weapon on his own. Mac 10 on Sunny, and then the CZ on Chris J. And not all the utility apart from Oscar and Sunny. So hopefully that's not going to be a problem as they try to make the execute happen. Right now going for ramp control. Maniac immediately recognizes the threat and knows, okay, I can't take these duels when they're all pushing me. I had to find a position where I at least can get that first frag before being taken out. Let's see if he's going to make that work. Goes for the aggressive peek. Only does damage as Robs takes him out. Secondary play on that bomb site. And now 5v3. Control of the bomb site has been taken by Mousesports. They are LDLC players close by though.
I think LDLC tried to get as many exit kills as you can because you're in a 3-5 situation with no kit, and now you just lost an M4 and in a weird situation to save for the next round. I know 2 rounds is not great in CT, but you have to get every round that you can, and those resets really hurt LDLC, and now they're in a weird spot. Pretty much giving up an 8th round, you know, as a T side for Mousesports. That's not good for you. They can't be good on a map like Nuke, where sometimes you see a score line of 11, 12 CT rounds if you have a strong CT side.
And also, not only are Mousesports up 8-2 now, but they're also going to have money to get the perfect buy if they want. They even have the chance of taking out Existence, but Sunny goes down. So they're going to have 4 weapons surviving in that one, the orb being included, and LDLC on the other side of things, around 2K for all of the players, so we will be seeing pretty much nothing invested here for the CTs.
And LDLC have to figure out what they have to do. What do you have to adjust in order to stop Mousesports? Mousesports is running away. They're getting the entry kills. Even no matter what situation they seem to be in, they always kind of pull it back. They're making it super difficult to win any round. It's never easy against Mousesports.
Talking about easy, the take of this bomb site has been rather easy. No CTs even contesting it as they try to go for some other type of plays, trying to capitalize off aggressive USP plays. No one holding that bomb site and has left it all open for Mousesports, who got the bomb down, and now Chris J is trying to make it work. Of course, he knows he's up against pistols. No reason to take out a rifle. And he can just pull out that trusty CZ.
OP. Chris J, though, he gets headshots, so he's going to run away. Look at him playing Discipline CS. And that's Alex O. Tuno taking out 2 people. Styko taking out 2 as well. Alex O, he does get an ult in the process, so I think that's pretty much worth for a save round.
Oh, yeah. Like, 2 frags. They were so close to getting Chris J as well, so almost 3 frags and an ult. Let's see if he's going to be able to survive. He does need that first shot.
Oh.
Will survive just in the end.
That's what you need. An AWP is always great to have, especially on the CT side. You're able to just post up on the spot. Now, Mousesports, well, tactical, no, smart. Okay, you have an AWP, you have some guns. This is a very important round. You need to win out. If you want a chance, you need to win out.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like this is the correct timing for Existence to take this kind of timeout, because if they give Mousesports 10 and just let them run away for the rest of this half, it's just not going to work out. This is probably their best choice because they have the orb coming in there, and they can play around that. Maybe make that the catalyst play of the round, put that orb in a good position, try and get that opening, then rotate back, play more defensively. Let's see.
I want to see them I want to see LDLC have a guy by CT spawn, and maybe play 1 or 2 by the stairs. With what guns they have, they know that Mousesports have been, you know, every once in a while taking a full outside take. So I'd like to see like a 2-stair kind of setup, you know, maybe a little random, be a little less methodical, because, you know, your existence, people know you're a team player base. So get a little random.
A little aggressive as well, and Alex is definitely doing that. Has been spotted out though, so it'll be kind of hard, but backup is coming in, but it's too late. Existence and his teammate trying to go for some funky plays here. One at the stairs towards Secret. And Devil trying to push towards Silo, but will be shut down in the end. Sunny with 1 Existence answering back, but Oscar coming in with the orb. Now it's all on Twanu and Maniac. Maniac was the Secret player, and now Twanu with an orb is basically all alone, because Maniac is just going to be in this vent position.
Yeah, I'm surprised LDLC didn't lead with an AWP, but instead they were trying to outrange AKs with umps and whatnot, and that's, you know, that's not always a good sign when you have to try to outrange an AK with an ump.
That's also one of the things I feel why you need to have that secondary AWP in a team, because in this situation it was very clear that Twanu was the one to have the AWP, but he had a very bad spawn. If Alex could have been that secondary AWP, he had that perfect spawn to go outside. That's why he went so aggressive. So if he had like the skills to be a secondary AWPer, that could have been perfect for them, but he is not that kind of a player.
Listen, it does not take that much skill to AWP, all right? I'm telling you firsthand. I'm kind of kidding, all right? It does take some skill, but I think AWPing is something everyone should be able to do. I mean, you don't have to be a Kenny S or anything, but as you said, by spawn base, rush to a spot, hold an angle, that's all you got to do. Have a kill and then fall back, drop the AWP to the main opera after that.
Yeah, exactly, because I kind of felt like that was what Alex could have done in that situation with that spawn. And how I feel like you should play that Catalyst AWP, play that aggressive peek and then rotate back, drop it to your, let's say, Kenny S type of player. But it will be around for Mousesports 10-2, and it's looking dangerously like the game we just saw right now. And I hope for LDLC that they have a chance to bring it back here. We know they have some individual qualities. We know they have some team qualities. They just need to show that right now. Alex spam the smoke, but not really getting much out of it. Store has been exploded by the T side. Chris J is trying to open up there from Hut.
So we see Miles just going to go with a little outside default. They're going to try to sneak around here. Maybe leave with an AWP kill by Oscar.
Twanu's position.
Flashed out. I think they gave it away that the person by stairs, and Oscar takes out the AWPer by stairs. That flash kind of telegraphed that, and now Mousesports have commanding control of outside as Chris J and Maniac are taking out respective players of the team. And now it's a 2-on-4 situation. Mouse is just having a field day walking wherever they can do. And Devil trying to make something happen here, but it's a 1-on-3. Doesn't look good as Sunny takes out Devil. 11-2.
Yeah, at this point, it kind of feels like we're just watching different Mousesports duels just having all over the map, and that's just not going to work out if you're LDLC. I know usually you want to play like everyone has a specific position on that CT side and then you can rotate to help each other, but at this point I feel like they have to recognize the fact that they cannot win these duels. When Mousesports go outside, it's not going to be enough, have one or maybe two players. They might have to just group up and then maybe go for some retake-based strategies instead, because these opening duels are not going their way, even when they're two players playing together one position.
And also, I think LDLC is a little too simple on their peaks and pop flashes. You saw from the last round on the stairs, one pop flash, only one guy peeked from the stairs. So, you know, maybe they should have it where there's people outside by warehouse also peeking then, you know, like a little just more complicated to make Mousesports work a little harder for the kills, because it's just, as you see, Rops just comes out ramp, let's give it up, and now he gets a kill on Maniac. And now he's just have a free reign down the sword bomb site, but ASTRO rotates quickly and takes out two people, bringing LDLC back in this round.
Nice rotate from Alex, utilizing vent, and now he has actually that lower bomb site on lockdown. 4v2, this is a great chance for LDLC to get something on the board before his first half ends. Oscar is going to try and make the difference here. AWP not going to be useful in the scenario we're looking at now. Oscar nonetheless, if someone had to do it, it should be Oscar.
LDLC playing this patiently, they're not trying to give up a kill, and Alex spots one of them, takes out Oscar, and then spots the last person. Alex, what's a great round, 4 kills for him. Something that they definitely needed to stay in this game.
Yeah, I feel also like these players have to experience some kind of success in this in order to believe in the fact that they can still come back. And the 4K from Alex is really nice. They talked about it on the desk that Alex had to be kind of this entry fragger, this guy who they could count on for always like winning the duels that he's taken. This time around he does exactly that and actually wins all the duels. And hopefully that could be kind of like a catalyst for him going forward, thinking, okay, I can actually win duels against these guys. I actually have the confidence to go for it right now. Play towards Secret. 3 players down there. Oscar taking a tad of damage. Chris J holding behind the smoke. So what's the play here for Mousesports? They have a lot of map control now.
And ASTRO spots that. They know that he's by outside, went downstairs, so he's smartly just backs off, trying to not get an early pick. He's playing a weird off angle here by the stairs, so he's trying to get 1 or 2 kills before he gets it. He has Sastico. Sunny with a nice clean exchange. And now Rob's killing Existence under the ladder, not expecting that.
That has to feel bad for Existence, because he was 100% sure that everything was clear, and he just rotates around trying to find a good angle for another player, and then Rob just comes in and kills him when he's not expecting that.
Yeah, Maniac, I think, was at the ramp room, and somehow he gets flanked, and now it's a 2-on-2 situation. Devil taking out Robs, and then 2-0 taking out Oscar, so...
All right.
You come back a little bit. You got 4 rounds in CT. You got, it's not the ideal amount of rounds you want on CT side, but it's not over yet. You have to believe in yourself, all right? Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Anything.
The words of our spirit guide shaman here.
I feel the energy of LDLC. They're not panicking just quite yet, but if they lose pistol, they might start to.
Yeah, I think that's going to be like the first round they're going to lose in this second half is either going to set them up for the sickest comeback in their recent history, or it's going to be just setting them up for like a standard T-side half. So the pistol round is going to be, as usual, very important, as we do have in CS, but this time even more, because well, if Mousesports gets this, it's pretty much done. It should be very hard for LDC to come back into the game.
I wonder if we're going to see a vent strat in pistol. I feel like T-side, there's always a lot of vent strats working, because it's easy if you have a really good spawn and the CT's best spawn doesn't take towards that mini area, the T can get down vents a little quicker than the CTs, and even though the CT spot, your job's already done. You're down vents, you make the CTs, okay, we have to rotate at least 1 or 2 people, and then you can work the map from there.
Let's see what the plan is now. Smoke flashbang nade on Devil. Here we go, quick play towards the inside. They're just pushing in right now, trying to win these battles with the Glocks. One guy main, one guy back of sight. Trading left, right, and center. 2 frags already gone down. Christian's doing a good job of holding this one down. And Oscar in main. Alex has now the flank position, but he's also taken out. Sonny and Oscar doubles up. And that's going to be the pistol going the way of Mousesports. And Chris J here, of course, the now in-game leader of the team. And that's something that also is on the line in this one, because we have 2 different styles of in-game leadership. We have Chris J with what I would describe as a more loose style, and you have LDLC, of course, very famous for existence, very micromanaging and very meticulous, making every single decision on the team. So it's also a way of knowing if that style still can work against a great team like Mousesports. And Chris J just doesn't care. Nice shot from Alex, though. The Eagles back up.
Styko's trying to play aggressive towards his hut, but Maniac's making his way towards Ram. Tags up Rops, but does not clean up the kill. So Rops takes him out, but Exists is trying to make a move here. Being taken out by Styko, and now 2 on 4. It's up to Devil and Alex to make something happen. Alex is going to be flanking from top heaven, though. But Sonny's ready for it.
Nice shot from Devil. Double nice shot from Devil. Insane shot coming out of him with that Desert Eagle in hand. Now we'll have that plant position, but trying to bait out the position of the guy in heaven. It does so. Now he knows where he is.
Gonna try to plant the bomb outside.
That's a new strategy. Haven't heard about that yet.
But interesting play by Devil. He's trying to play for the win instead of the plant, and I mean, it's respectable. You gotta hit. You gotta win then if you do this.
Has to be silent here. Oscar's waiting in the vent. See, that was the play that they tried to do early in the round, and Devil knows that one was up here before, but he doesn't know where Robs is now, and has some kind of idea, but Robs has him all figured out. It doesn't matter, the young Estonian.
Game sense off the chart.
Yeah,
right there.
like he knows to rotate down to make the CTC, okay, there's nothing up here, and then he just goes up the vent. Nice shots coming in here, though. This double deagle action here coming in from Devil. Very good, but it doesn't really matter if you can get 2 nice deagle kills if you can't really convert that into rounds. They're only 4 on the board right now and definitely need more at this point, LDLC.
So that's what LDLC is going to do. They only have 1 flashbang, so it's like they're going to anti-roof. They're making a lot of noise. Oscar pushing and taking out Alex right away in that squeaky door. This forced LDLC to kind of scramble towards the outside, but it's not working as they're getting torn apart by Mouse. And now it's LDLC is kind of a weird spot here where Devil's going to try to get something to happen. But good luck, my friend. Yeah.
Oh, yes! There we go, doubles up. Devil with a knife frag now has to ace this round pretty much. That would be a spectacular ace if this actually happened.
That'd be very impressive indeed. And not only, I mean, he didn't win the round, but he did get a knife kill. And that gives you a lot of money. So that allows him to maybe drop an ult for someone if they decide to go with an ult on a T-side setup. Not recommended, but hey, you never know. There you go. He brought out the ult. Let's see what kind of strategy that they're going to do. A pick strat, maybe a random rush, who knows?
Let's see here. Twanu is definitely the one to watch for the early parts, and it looks like he...
Twanu. Hard to say his name.
It is French, so it's supposed to be hard to say it. Almost every word in French is, and Oscar just barbecues him, takes him out before he can have any kind of impact into the round, tries to go for the door peek, immediately shut down. Oscar once again, he's just wrecking things right now. Doesn't even need the orb to do that, just utility and an M4.
It's $6,000 just down the drain right there.
Yep.
I don't think he even took a shot when he got roasted right there. So that's unfortunate for Twanu.
Normally you would clog the toilet if you put $6,000 in $1 bills down the toilet, but this time around it just goes straight down. No worries.
Just say, you know, you want a gun? Just toss it outside of the mat for me because I don't need it.
All right, 3 players still alive. Dream is still in contention. It's hanging by a thread at this point for LDLC. They need every single bit of luck and help they can get. As they are, once again, Devil is situating around this outside presence towards heaven, and he's going to get the flashing from his teammate. And they're going to try and take over that position and work off that. But Oscar, once again, coming in from the back. Sunny shuts down Devil in heaven. Interesting sentence, but Existence is still alive. 1v4. Has taken out the first one. Has Oscar gone down after that 3K? Distance. It's going to be so hard for him. And he's not going to be able to make it. 15 rounds for Mousesports to the 4 of LDLC.
Nice job by Mousesports on not getting too aggressive. You know, you're in a 5-on-3 situation. They're still taking it slow, methodical. Oscar's flashing out and, you know, waiting for the people in ramp to push through lobby. And once they clear it out, Stico and them just kind of come back together and just, you know, just very methodical textbook play by Mousesports. It seems to be working really well.
Just using their utility very well at this point, like using these early Molotovs to kind of deny map presence. The only thing they can really do right now is go secret, and that's what they've done, this LDLC T-side team. Now, Alex, in the midst, the CTs have to have some kind of information that this is happening, and Oscar does go for the pre-fire. Eventually, the nade will take him out, but look at this Maniac. Does get the kill in the end, so now it's definitely possible here. 2v3, Astico just shuts it down. Devil, last man standing, 3 HP. Can he make this happen for for LDLC? He holds on to it, still alive, but knows there's an orb now in heaven, and Devil battling that position out. Robs will be coming in as well. And they have a kid on Rob, so they have time still. Devil going in for the peak, does get the one, but Robs will shut him down in the end, and that's going to be 16 for Mousesports in a clean game. Clean and easy, some might say, as Mousesports take the victory and move on in the
Mousesports looking really pretty good right there. Timing, strats, just their aim, everything's supposed to be on point. The question is, are they going to have this entire tournament, just one game thing? I think it's, I mean, they show that they want to win. Came here to play.
Definitely, and Mousesports coming hot off a win, as I said, on the desk at RG Masters. Coming in here, the first game, no trouble whatsoever. And now they're ready on to take on a new opposition later on in the tournament. Of course, GG's being exchanged by the players. These guys go way back, and it was an interesting one. I personally believed it would have been a bit closer. I probably gave maybe LDLC a bit too much credit. This time around, doesn't work out for them. Hopefully they can bounce back into the lower parts of this group here.
Yeah, LDLC just got outclassed right there. It seems like everything Mouse did was right. Their game sense, the plays, the timings, it just all fell in Mousesports' lap. And LDLC, it seemed like an uphill battle the entire time. I'm thinking maybe for their next match, kind of stepping back a little bit, kind of just see, you know, what went wrong. Maybe we have to simplify it a little bit better, maybe do a little more 4-1s, try to get some early kills, and then maybe run into a strat-based kind of setups.
Talk about that. We're going to have an interview live from the stage. This is Paula.
Thank you very much, Risk. I'm here with #Life of Martin superstar Stico, and that performance there was pretty darn good. What happened?
Well, we kind of get a map that we wanted to play. We feel comfortable against LDLC, and we know their tendencies, kind of. So, I mean, we just had some rounds where we got lucky in clutches, but I mean, we just kept our advantage and never let it go.
Yeah, why was that T-side so dominant? It looked like you guys were functioning really well as a team, and just overall, it was a very impressive performance.
Well, to be honest, it was really hard because they were saving a lot, and it's always hard to play against kind of a force buy where half of the team is ecoing, half of the team is buying nades, and it's hard to figure out where to actually go. And they actually caught us off guard on many times. On CT side where they forced us to go A late round. I mean, it wasn't easy, but luckily we just had better day. I guess we hit better shots. So.
When I spoke to Rush from Cloud9 earlier, he said anything less than first place would be a disappointment. Where do you guys rank yourselves? Because he mentioned you guys as one of the toughest opponents here.
Well, I would just repeat what Rush said. We came here to win, so it will be a great challenge if we would play against Cloud9 in the finals.
Yeah, and we have like a pretty cool crowd here. They got quite loud during the match, and anytime I mention them, they seem to really enjoy it. And so thank you guys for being here. What's it like for you to be in Denver, be in this amazing stadium?
First time here, love it so far. Thanks everyone who is here and cheering for us.
There we go. Let's get this rodeo going. Martin, thank you so much for your time. Let's head back to Trez and the guys on the desk.
Hey, thanks, Paula. You guys, you know what? That's back-to-back. 16-4s right there. And you know what? You kind of hate to see it if you're LDLC. You would have thought maybe they put up a little bit more of a fight. But what do we see, guys?
Yeah, I mean, this is a map I had a lot of faith in LDLC on. I think Nuke was probably their best map to try and sneak a win here. But Mousesports just, on their T side, they somehow managed to just weasel their way into places. And that's, I guess, how Nuke plays, and what makes a good CT side on Nuke is stopping that from happening. I felt like there were so many situations where Rops and Stiko just were somehow behind people and getting kills. And I think we saw a lot of ridiculous CZ rounds too, so that helps a lot.
And also, I think it helped out that Mouse kind of grinded out some of those clutch rounds in the early part of the half. I mean, you saw that 1v1 that Chris J won against Existence, actually pushing through the fire, which could have been risky if Existence wouldn't have been like on the bomb side. He would have been on the other side of the silo. Chris J probably just takes a bunch of damage, has to fall back and replay the 1v1 with low HP, but he winds up, getting bailed out on that risk. And then obviously he won a 1v2. I think just a couple of rounds later, probably one he shouldn't really be winning. And if you're LDLC and you're going down early, I think they were down 5-0 or what have you, and then you're losing, 2v1s and things like that when you're trying to start establishing yourself, you're in for a tough time, particularly on the CT side where things are more expensive. You're getting your economy reset and things like that. So they were always struggling to piece something together consistently.
Really, if you even just look at sheer firepower that Mousesports had coming into it. We anticipated that Oscar would be able to put some hurt down on these guys, but it was really Stiko that kind of sticks out here on this.
And that's really good because I know he was struggling when he first joined this team, and he even did like an interview where he was talking about how he was having a hard time adjusting to kind of new positions and new responsibilities that he didn't have on Hellraisers, and some of his first events were a bit poor, like at Mykonos and stuff like that. He was definitely on the weaker end, but he looked better at ROG. Really good match here. Hopefully that's a good sign that he's going to make that progression and adapt to his new positions and such.
I mean, in terms of ADR, he was leading it. At least, I believe it's in like 111. And then if you go down here, Maniac being the closest one over on LDLC. What really fell apart, though, for LDLC outside of maybe missing some shots or CZs, for example?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, on their CT side, they allowed Mousesports to get into these situations that pretty much put pressure on the lower bomb side a lot. So Vince was obviously a contested area that somehow Rops in a few occasions found his way in there and got a few key frags there. And that's really hard. Once a terrorist team gets outside control and then gets lower in vent control, it's very hard for CTs to come back from that. And so we saw a lot of that from Mousesports, and in particular Stiko, and obviously winning a lot of clutches, as you brought up. I mean, Chris J won a huge clutch in the Molly. I think I don't remember if it was Chris J or Stiko who won that 1v2 where he did the flick. Was that Chris J? Yeah, that was just, when you're hitting nice shots like that, winning our clutches, this is the kind of scoreline you're going to expect.
Yeah, and the counter to that would be disrupting it, right? And it seemed like LDLC tried, but every time they tried to go for a play, it never panned out. Like Toynu tried to be proactive with an op outside. He got caught a lot of the time he tried it. And again, the economy wasn't always there for him to really have it that often. And then you had Maniac that one round. He tried to flank lobby, only gets one kill. You got to get more out of plays like that if you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole. So they just weren't up to the task today. I mean, that's really the only way to state it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, when you start with such a lopsided first half, I mean, you've already got your work cut out for you, I believe, is a storyline here. But were we expecting such a lopside in terms of a T showing here on Nuke?
Not at all. I mean, like, Terracide is a pretty cut and dry map at this point. As we discussed earlier, it's basically outside execute to lower control. It's pretty much the whole time. Yeah, and I think that Virtus Pro is a good team to watch. They have some pretty nice inner executes, and I think they're the go-to team a lot of teams are going to look at to learn how to play Nuke. But when you allow a team to get that much control, it's very hard to fight back from. And as you said, they tried to fight back a little bit early in the half, but they didn't. They got their money broke a few times. They were doing a lot of half buys, and it really they just missed their shot. So I don't want to say that it was like anything tactical that actually lost them this match. I think, Maniac flanking and missing his shots. I saw Devil a few rounds on Hut, who he had a guy's back and couldn't kill him. So, if they hit those shots, maybe the rounds ended a little different, but I think it was just a matter of skill.
We talked about that before the game even started, though, too, right? It's like there's not many heavy hitters on this LDLC team, right? And when you're playing CT side, you need those guys to step up. I mean, if Maniac's your higher ADR player, I mean, that's all great and good, but where's Alex? Where's Toynu? Like, those are the guys that have to step up and help, put the team on their shoulders and carry them through something. And like you said, there's a lot of missed opportunities.
Well, we'll be going into the Counter Logic Gaming versus the Renegades next, but not before we have a little bit of walkthrough here from Sliver.tv. You know what? The next generation in viewing esports. Let's go ahead and check it out right now.
Watch CS:GO and win free prizes.